Welcome back to Tech Stack for all you tech enthusiasts. In the previous video, we implemented a login page using hard-coded credentials. In this video, we will implement an Auth Guard to protect routes and restrict access to the admin area without login. Now we try to access employee CRUD directly without login. As you can see, right now we can access the employee CRUD page even without logging in. This is a security issue. We need to restrict this page so that only authenticated users can access it. We use Angular guards to control who can access a route. CanActivate checks if the user is logged in before allowing them to open a page. First, we will create a guard. Inside the app folder, we will create a folder called Guard to organize all our route guards. Now, open the integrated terminal inside the guard folder. Now run the command to create a guard named Auth. It will show you different options asking which type of guard you want to create. From the options, select CanActivate as the type of guard. As you can see, the Auth Guard has been successfully created. It looks like an arrow function. Before Angular 16, guards were created as services, but now they use arrow functions. This guard executes whenever you try to access a route, so we need to apply it to the route we want to protect. Now open approutes.ts and apply the guard to the employee CRUD route to protect it. Add the CanActivate property to the route and assign the Auth Guard inside an array. So, we have created the guard and applied it to the route we want to protect. Any route you don't want users to access without logging in, you simply apply the guard there. Now, add a debugger statement in the Auth Guard, as we're going to test it. Now, run the command ng-serve to start the Angular application. Now, when we try to access the employee CRUD page, you can see the debugger in the guard gets executed. So, CanActivate runs before accessing a route. If it returns true, the user is allowed to access the page. If it returns false, access is restricted. In our login implementation, we will store the logged-in user's data in the local storage. For now, we will just store the user's email in the local storage. We will use local storage set item to store the user's email in local storage. Local storage is saved in the browser. If the user is valid, we store their email in local storage. So, in the guard, we need to read the saved data to check if the user is authenticated. First, we will read the data from local storage. Create a constant local email and use local storage get item email to read the stored email and save it in the local email. Before moving ahead, as you know, Angular recently released Angular 21. We are covering Angular 21 from scratch, so if you're a beginner or intermediate, this series will be highly recommended for you. We have also provided the Angular 21 playlist in the description for easy access. Now, apply an if condition to check if local email is null. If it's null, it means the user is not logged in. In this case, we need to redirect them to the login page. To handle the redirection, create an instance of router in the guard. Inject the router using inject router. This is how you create a route service using an arrow function in Angular. Now, if local email is null, use navigate by URL to redirect the user to the login page. Now, let's test it and see the guard in action. As you can see, when we try to access the employee CRUD page, we are redirected to the login page. Now, add an else block and return true there so that authenticated users can access the route. Currently, the employee CRUD page is an authenticated route. Now, let's test it to see how it works for authenticated users. Log in using the email john@mail.com and password john123. Now, open the browser's inspect element. Next, click the login button. As you can see, our guard is executed. Since we stored the email in local storage, it is not null. So, the guard returns true, allowing access to the route. Now, we have been successfully navigated to the employee CRUD page. Now, go to the Application tab in the browser and check the local storage. As you can see, the email is saved in the browser's local storage. We can also add multiple guards to a particular route if needed. Now, we want to implement the Auth Guard on all routes to protect the entire application. Open app routes.ts. Now, remove CanActivate from the employee CRUD route and apply it to the parent route instead. Now, all pages will be authenticated because we added the guard to the parent route instead of applying it to each individual route. Let's test it. First, open the browser's inspect element. Now, go to local storage and delete the stored email. Now, refresh the page. As you can see, after deleting the local storage and refreshing the page, we are redirected to the login page. Now, try to access the employee list page. Again, we are redirected to the login page because of the CanActivate Guard. Here's a common interview question. What is authentication and authorization? Authentication is the login process, verifying who the user is. Authorization is checking whether a user is allowed to access a specific page or resource. For example, a role-based guard is an example of authorization. In this context, the login page and the Auth Guard are part of authentication. If you're passionate about learning new technologies, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tech Stack, and keep learning new skills. Thank you. And remember, consistency is the key to success.